Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi Isai. Here we go. Shmak. We're holding up Kuf Yudam the Bays, and we were discussing the liver. So the liver is interesting. It's all blood, and you're allowed to eat the liver. It's all blood. There's a special exception in the Torah that you're allowed to eat that kind of blood. And Abaya wanted to know, what about the blood that comes out of the liver while you cook it, and it goes into another piece of meat? Do we say, oh, it's mutter blood? Look, you're eating it as is. We're eating blood, liver. So maybe if it goes into something else, it's also okay. So he says, the fact that the liver itself is mutter, that I know. So the Gemara says, 5 lines, we'll just go back 2 lines. The liver itself, you had no problem. This now, because it's a Mefurish Mishnah in Eseres, the liver itself is not awesome. So I'm asking you, Abaya, why were you so bothered by the other halacha? Whether the liver has the ability, the blood that comes out of the liver, does it have the ability to ruin other meat in the pot? That shouldn't be a question to you either. Why are you sending people to Eretz Yisrael? That's the question. Why? This not, it says Mefurish in the Mishnah. It says in Truma, Hakaved oiseres, it makes other meat also. Here, that's the answer to your question. Hakaved oiseres, it makes other meat also. You're asking me, could you cook a liver with your chunk meat? No, it makes it also. Vein and eseres in it itself is not also. Why? The liver is busy expelling the blood. It doesn't have the chance to absorb blood. It's when you're cooking it, all it does, it's a one-way street. We're going to see something interesting later on in the sugya, is that, at least according to some, that the Gemara seems it's not according to some, that when you overcook it, that it's done expelling the blood, then it relaxes and it's able to start accepting others. It can re-accept the blood. Okay. Says Gemara, we're holding the last line, Daf Kuf Yudam Beis Omelei. So Ramayach Biderman once says when you're a darshan, and this applies very much to Daf Yomi Shiur, when you hear a good vard, a good story, the first thing that comes to your mind is, where can I put this in? Where is this going to fit? And suddenly you just put it in. It's Boydem and Klutz, and Mendy says, what's the shaycha is? But the first thing that comes to mind, you hear good, where am I going to put this in? And he says the problem is that as a darshan, as a Maggid Shiur, you're not thinking how to absorb it. You're thinking how to be piloted. You're thinking how to give it over, but you yourself are not taking any musar. And then he says, and when I heard this part, I thought about this also. Where am I going to put it in? What sugi am I going to put it in? And here, fisting right over here. It's pilot. Ve'ena boilas. It gives over. It doesn't absorb. Zokti Gemara. Amar lei. So he says, Dilma Hasam becomes the surah. You have no raya from over there that a liver could aser other meat, because maybe over there we're talking about, it's very interesting. Maybe over there we're talking about a non-kosher liver. Maybe it's treif liver. And what's the thing with the treif liver? Umishum shamununisa, because the liver has fats, and if it's treif, so it's treif fats. And we're not concerned about the blood. Mishum damamai. I still don't know what the halach is the blood. What's the shiloh with the blood? You have something that you're allowed to eat the blood as is. So maybe if the blood expels itself and goes into the pot and goes into other things, maybe it's mutter, or maybe not. Maybe the halach is a special xeris hakosov that when the blood is inside the liver and part of the liver, then you're allowed to eat it. Once it goes outside and does something else, it's also, we had something similar by the chal. The milk inside the chal, you're allowed to cook it as is. Once it leaves, then it becomes awesome there. Says Gemara, Kihadar Solik, we have stories there. Kihadar Solik, when Rav Safar went back to Eretz Yisrael, asked for Reb Zrika, he bumped into Reb Zrika. This is also not a question. Why? Da'ana, I myself, Reb Zrika myself, V'yadai Bereder Reb Ami, both of us, and Yana, Iklan Lebei Yehuda Bereder Reb Shimon ben Pazi, we both went to Yehuda, the son of Reb Shimon ben Pazi's house. And what did they give us? The most interesting dish you've ever heard of in your life. Ukriv along Kanya B'Koifei, We spoke about the konen veshet, the trachea, the esophagus. So the guy grabs a hold of the trachea, the breathing tube, and on it, it's like grapes. On it, you have a heart, you have a liver, you have the lungs. And dumped it down on the table. Here, have something to eat. The Gemara says it's kasha l'shikha. If you eat liver, kasha is bad for your memory, heart, and brain. It's like 2 out of 3. It's a great combination. It's yummy. But what is it called? It's, Murav Yerushalmi, exactly. V'achalna, we ate it. Mascular of Ashi became a Reb Shmuel Mizrukinya. V'dilma pikana chutz l'derahava. Maybe, I'm going to show you the video in a second. Maybe the pipe that this kana is dangling outside of the pot, and the blood from, and you're going to see it all in the video, the blood that's inside all of this comes out. So there are many who struggle to understand Rashi. Like, what's the connect? How does blood? This is a breathing tube. Oxygen goes in and out. Where's the blood from the liver going to find its way into the breathing tube? It sounds good, like theoretically. So some want to say Rashi wasn't a doctor; he didn't really know. The disciple says no. It means that he cut he made a cut and it went through. But in the Sichas Chulin, Rabbi Amitai ben David, who did the shechita for us, he says, I took the kana with the 3 limbs, I put it in a pot, I boiled it, I put the thing, and blood started coming out. It drained the blood out. So I did it. And it works. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. Maybe from the pressure of the hot water, instead of the blood going into the pot, it can't. It's like it looks for the easiest way through the veins. I don't know what. That's what he says. Or, Inami, Michlat have a cholad mikara. Maybe you seared this whole thing. You sear it. How do you sear it? What does searing mean? Like you make a steak. You put the raw meat on the grill for like 30 seconds, a minute. It sears it. It goes, and it locks all the juices in. Then you flip it over. You lock everything in. By putting in the kana into the boiling water or into vinegar, it locks it in. It doesn't allow for the blood to come out and hurt other meat. Now we're saying, you'll see it in the video, you understand. I just want to get to the end over here so everything's clear so this video doesn't mix people up. Just understand? Michlat Avachal is another thing. Nothing to do with the kana outside of the pot. You sear it. You put it into the boiling water, it locks everything in. It doesn't allow for the blood to escape from the liver because you seared it. You put it on, let's say you put it on the grill for a second, you lock it in, you close it up. How? Putting it in vinegar. Either through vinegar or through hot water. The Gemara says, he took a liver and he seared it in challah, which is vinegar. And Rav Nachman did it with hot water, which is interesting to remember this, that Rav Nachman is the one who seared it, because later on he's like, you don't have to do anything, you just cook it, like to make it better, to just. So let's see what we have here today. Check this out. This is how it works for boys' side. The blood in the liver leaves through the kana. Okay. Says Gemara V'Savra Papa Kamed Rava Lemeimar Chala Osir. Rav Papa wanted to say that this vinegar that health inspector drank from, he shouldn't be allowed to drink from it. Why? Because perhaps some of the blood in the liver came out of the liver into the vinegar. What are you talking about? The whole idea of the vinegar is that the vinegar locks it in. If you're going to tell me that you're concerned that blood left the liver, if it didn't really lock it in, and this liver is no longer busy expelling anything because you locked it in, sort of, but it didn't really lock it in, so it's kind of relaxed. It's relaxed. How did the blood come out? Because there's some sort of relaxation in this liver. It's not a pilot, so then it's able to absorb also. That's what he's saying. Says the Gemara story. Rav bar Shaba ikla lebei Rav Nachman. The person by Rav, the son of Shaba, he comes to Rav Nachman's yeshiva. Isolate kavda. What do you do the first day of yeshiva? Always a nice geschmacka liver, human liver, kavda shlika. But what kind of liver? Cooked in a pot, not broiled. Broiled, we said, is not an issue, but the cooked one is a problem. So let me ask you, Rabbi Isai, what's the halacha today? If somebody cooks the liver, takes the liver, instead of roasting it, cooks the liver with nothing else in the pot, just water, are you allowed to eat it or not allowed to eat it? It's not a problem. We're going to see in a second. They brought him this cooked liver, he didn't eat it. The issue is expelling of the blood of the liver into the pot and ruining the chum, ruining other meat. But in itself is not bileya. It went out, it doesn't come back in. Why shouldn't you be able to eat it? Amrulay, so they go to the Rosh Hashiva and they snitch. Barbe Rab, this new guy, this new Talmud, the Legad that's inside of his mouth, he refuses to eat the chashav dish that we made. Umanu, what's his name? Rav Bar Shaba. His name is Rav, the son of Shaba. Amrul Rav Nachman. Says Rav Nachman, this is 100% mutter to eat. Remember, Rav Nachman is the one that said he used to sear it. But he says, you don't have to sear it. As long as you cook it. With nothing else in the pot, just liver. Gamu with Shaba. Take his mouth and put it in there. Force it into his mouth. Don't be nice to this guy. Rebbe Eliezer says liver can make other meat aser, but it itself doesn't become aser. It has the ability to expel, but doesn't absorb. Only when you spice it up, so the spices soften it up physically. And then it has the ability, since it's soft, it makes other things aser, and it itself becomes aser. Shluka, but if it's cooked, so Rashi says it's cooked for a long time, longer than usual, then it itself becomes aser, then it has the ability also, similar to putting spices, it has the ability to absorb. Says the Gemara, Rabba bar Rav Huna, Ikla lebe Rabba bar Rav Nachman. Rabba, the son of Rav Huna, went to Rabba bar Rav Nachman's place. Isaac Amei, plus, he went to his house. Went to his house for Shabbos. Asked the Kamei, tlas soyi yusavi tachi. Like 3 measurements of like cake. Cake with oil and a geschmack cake. The top is oil with the honey. Really good stuff. Like in Yossi's bakery. You know, like geschmack stuff. Omar lahu, mi havi yaditu dasino. You knew I was coming for Shabbos. You're not allowed to say, you're not allowed to tell him, oh yeah, I knew you're coming, that's why I made all this beautiful cake. What did they say? They said, mamish in a nice way. Omar lei, ma'adifas lamino. Are you better than Shabbos itself? T'chsiv, v'karasa l'Shabbos oinig. There's a mitzvah to be misaneg in Shabbos, to make beautiful things, expensive things, spend a lot of money. We know that your whatever Mezanis HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you, Rosh Hashanah does not include Yitzhak Shabbos and Yom Tov. Zog the Gemara. Adahachi ashkach aukavda dahave basim poino. So he found in the liver, he found a great artery, the simpoina, the bli adama. There was blood in the simpoina. Omar lahu. And he says to them, Ravuna, what's wrong with you? You cooked the liver with the simpoina. There's blood in it. Well, what should we do? Omar lahu kiru shesi ve'erev. Make some nice cuts in the liver. And make sure that this cut is on the bottom. You flip it over where the cuts are on the bottom and they could drain out. The blood drains out. So the Gemara, and this is a liver. But the spleen, you also see white on it. It's a different white. Let me show you this video. It's fantastic from Weissfish. It's unbelievable. Yishkoyach Weissfish, all the videos he sent us. This is like, you can't get better. You can't understand the story better than this. You see that white? That's what's confusing. The white looks like fat, but it's a vein. And there's blood in it. You see the blood in that vein. You flip it over with a cutter on the bottom. But the spleen also has that white, but that's nothing. The white is not a vein. The white is fat. And it looks similar, but that's why the Gemara says, what about Chayil? Why did the Gemara ask, I don't know, what about the lungs? Because the Chayil has something similar color. You could get confused and think that it's some sort of vein that contains blood. No, that's only fat that you're allowed to eat. So the Gemara called the Shmuel Avdilei Tafshila, the Tachle, they cooked up a spleen for him, so when he would get his bloodletting in those days is a big thing, like you feel better after you donate some blood. So on that day, they would give him a spleen. Spleen was good for that. Itmar, Kavda Ilovei Bisra Shari. Here, we got a Geshmaka picture. We're talking about, can the liver be above meat? What's the problem? It's going to start dripping blood. And the answer is it's not a problem. Because the blood just keep on falling off. It doesn't get absorbed into the meat. Okay. So that's one. Kavdi Levei Bisra, when the liver is above the meat, Shari. Why? Dama Mishrak Sharik, the blood is going to just slip right off. Chali Levei Bisra, but if you have the udder with milk on top of meat, also it's no good. My taima Chalav Seruchi Misrach, milk is more sticky, the nature of it will stick to the meat. Rav Dimi says no, it's the exact opposite. The milk above the meat is okay. My taima, what's the worst comes to worst? Let's say milk comes out. It's only the Rabbanan to drink the milk after the animal, when you extract it after the animal dies. But to put liver above meat, that would be also dam deiraisa. The blood, we have to be more concerned. So they ask him, Marshach, what's going on here? But he said you got to be more concerned about blood than milk. Right. So how does the Metzias work with it? They're both like, yeah, exactly. Let's say it's almost equal. I got to be more concerned with the blood, and don't be so concerned with the milk. Darsh Mereimar. And at the end of the day, we have la'alach la'maisa hilchas ben kav the ben chala, whether it's the liver or the udder. Tusei bisra shari, you can put it right underneath the meat. Ilovei bisra the evedin l'chatchila loy, but above, no way. Now, what's this tusei bisra shari? What's the big deal? Rashi here says something super interesting. He says ulidan, but in our days that we put the skewer vertically, horizontally. Our skewers, they don't go up and down. They lay. And what's the nature? When you take it off, what are you going to do? You're not going to put it exactly 9 degrees. You're going to lift one end. I don't know which end you're going to lift, but one end is going to be above the other, and then you have an issue that it's going to drip in. Basically, it doesn't matter where you placed the liver, you should always make it asr in our days. You shouldn't do this. Ravashi says the Gemara. His father-in-law's name was Rami Bar Abba. He saw the son of Rami Bar Abba, which means his own brother-in-law. He saw his father-in-law's son. He's using a skewer, mamish like in this picture over here, like this. He put the liver right above the meat. Omar, he tells his brother-in-law to his face, "You're such a balgaiva." Rabbanan said you can do this after the fact. Why are you going to, in the first place, and putting liver above the meat? The knife. Oh, yeah. Anybody else like this word besides me? I love it. Beidugi. You got a dugi. If you have a plate that catches you know, on a grill, you have this plate that catches all the fats and so now it's a problem because in the fat, a grease trap, in the fat, blood is going to fall under it. Now, what's the problem with that? Because any normal person, after you grill, you take that trap and you drink it. It's very, very healthy. It's very geschmack. Now, if you just have the blood of the meat, forget about the liver. What about regular meat that falls into the doogie? What about that blood? Why is that not a problem? Everybody drinks the doogie afterwards. So how come you're not concerned about the blood? It's always geschmack to drink that fat that comes out of the grill. When there's blood in the cup, and the blood goes to the bottom. That's not a problem. Everybody drinks that. The coffee, the blood of the liver for some reason flows to the top. That's a shtickle problem. You have a knife that you shecht with. Now, we know that the neck of the animal is like boiling. And therefore, it absorbs blood into the knife. You could even wipe down the knife, blood will go into the knife. Therefore, also, you're not allowed to cut boiling items afterwards because the blood that's in the knife, it got absorbed by heat, it will expel itself with heat, so there's blood in the knife, the blood will come out into your hot items. If you want to cut challah, something cold, okay, but something hot will come out into the food. So then, what if you cut something cold? Some say you have to take that cold food and wash it down, so it wouldn't work so well with the challah. And some say you don't even have to wash it. You have a bowl that all you did is you soaked the meat in salt. Salt, as we're going to see in a second, and we learned it in this Masechta, salt is like boiling. So what happens? You have blood that comes out of the animal, and because you're boiling, the bowl that you're doing this in is boiling. Why is it boiling? Because a lot of salt. Then the blood goes into the bowl. So it's the same thing like a knife that has blood in it. You have a bowl that has blood in it. You're not allowed to put hot food in it because the hot food is going to make the blood come out of the kli and go into that food. I'll just remind the olam that sugya, salt is like, if you put salt on something, it's like boiling. And if you put meat into water and you're pickling it, it's v'kavish harehu kimavushal. Maliach is like Riteach, Chavish is like Mavush. Kiyasa, Rabban Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Says Rabbi Yochanan, they say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Maliach, Enik Riteach. I argued this. Salting something is not like boiling. The Chavish, Enik Mavushal, and pickling or having it sit in water is not like cooking. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Rav unless it's not true that Rabbi Yochanan said this. Dahi Pinko, there was a bowl made out of earthenware. The Havabe Rabbi Ami, the Malach Bibis, Rabbi Ami used it to salt the meat. The Tavra and he broke it. And what's the kasha? Michti Rabbi Ami Tamid Rabbi Yochanan Hava. Rabbi Ami was a Talmud of Rabbi Yochanan. He would do everything what his Rebbe said. My Talmud Tavra. Why would he break it? It has to be. It must be that salting is like boiling, and therefore this kli absorbed blood. And there's nothing you can do with it now. Because if you're going to use it for something else, the blood will go out and ruin anything you put in there. Let's break it. Yosef Rav Kahana Achua, the Rabbi Yehuda Kamed Rav Huna. Rav Kahana sat in front of Rav Huna. The Yosef Kamar and he said, Ka'ara Shemalach Babasar, if you have a bowl that you salted meat in it, Asur Le'echel B'Riteach, you're not allowed to eat hot food in it. Utsnain Shechatoche B'Sakin, you have a radish, a turnip, a radish, that's a radish has a sharpness to it. You cut it with a knife. You cut it, what kind of knife? A meat knife, a fleshik knife. Now because the snoin has a sharpness, it pulls some of the meat out of the knife. So now the turnip became a piece of meat. The flavor of the meat that was in the knife leaves the knife, goes into the turnip. Mutar la'achloi bekutach. You're permitted to eat it with kutach. I'm not going to show you the video of kutach. My time up. Ask the Gemara, what's the difference between a radish that absorbed meat to a kli that absorbed blood? Meat is 100% mutter. So it absorbed meat. It's a mutter. But this bowl absorbed blood, and blood is also. It makes no sense what you're saying. Okay, every piece of meat is mutter, but it doesn't go well with milk. You can't eat milk and meat. So what if it's mutter? We're talking about eating the meat with milk, and it's going to be a problem. So you're going to eat cereal in a bowl that's a fleshig bowl, and the meat of the that's in the bowl is going to go into your cereal, and the milk is going to be a problem. What are you telling me? Meat is mutter. I'll tell you pshat. You could taste the radish. Any Jew could taste the radish. Why? Because it's just meat. So worst comes to worst, you just became fleshig. You taste it. It doesn't taste like meat. Now you can eat it with dairy. But what are you going to do with the bowl? How are you going to taste blood? You don't know if it's blood or not. You can never taste it because you're Jewish. What's the answer? Let a non-Jew taste it. Okay, that's the Gemara's question. Let the chef taste it. We learned that you cooked meat, you should not cook with it milk. And if you cooked it, then you taste it. If you did the same thing with truma, you're not allowed to cook chulin. But if you were over, if the truma gave flavor, you're not allowed to eat it. I could have a Jew taste it. His name is a kohen. He's allowed to eat truma, so you can taste whether it tastes like truma or not. But if you have meat and dairy together, how are you going to know if it tastes like basa b'cholam, tastes like McDonald's? I'm alone. The tami kapila. So we said over there, let the chef taste it. A guy. Says Gemara. So over here also, why can't he taste it? We're talking about a city. There's no guy. Should we start the sugya or wait for tomorrow? Let's start it first. We'll just do the beginning and then we'll go. Let's do 2 lines here. It's Gishmak Sugya. Itmar. Boys, check this out real quickly. If I have a piece of meat, here's a steak. I have a steak. And I have a fish. And this touches this. Oh, shouldn't do that. This touches this. Now the fish just became what? Flesh. This is meat. Touch this. They're both very hot. The meat went into the fish. You ask him, can I eat it with this? With milk? No way. But that's called meat. But what if my hot steak touched this bowl? So now the steak in the bowl. Now I took the steak out. And now I take a piece of fish and I touch this hot bowl. Hot fish in the bowl. Now it took out of the bowl, it went into the fish. What's that called? That's called not barnat. Now, it looks like this, not barnat. They always say, I think that not barnat means... You have to have liquid, don't you? What? You have to have liquid. It's called barnat. No, hot in the thing. Well, let's not get confused there. Not barnat stands for no trauma, be relaxed. That's what I decided. This is the most traumatic sentence in Shas. People are like, whoa, not barnat. It's nothing. It means the meat touched this bowl, and then the fish touched the bowl. No trauma. Be relaxed. So Mela, it goes like this. Dogim shalabakara. You have boiling hot fish that are in a meat bowl. Ravam also lachem. You're not allowed to eat it afterwards with milk. Is this fish, the fish that has a little bit of flavor of meat, you'll eat it with milk. Rav says, Asur. You're allowed to. Ravam also noisin tamu. It's nun tes, not. Have a wonderful day.
Merit the zchus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.